meeting to order at 4:31. The first up is the consent agenda. We've got the minutes and the agenda. Is there anything else we can add?
It looks like she sent the April 3rd minutes.
I could have sworn I saw the other ones.
Well, it looks like that's what's printed. Is that what got sent to you?
I was pretty sure I saw the May ones in the email, but.
When I'm there, I don't usually read them.
I didn't see them. I just assumed that we had to go today.
Okay. So these are not the minutes that you gave.
No, but they are. But their date is
The
wrong.
dates.
Because we passed the agenda, April 3rd agenda. This is right here, but the date.
Okay, so that's just, we just need to change that on.
Because I read them and I was like, yeah, this is what we talked about.
Okay, so we'll just, so
Because we
that's
passed
a,
the disposal
that's what
Yeah.
last month.
No wonder I thought like, no, I saw the May ones.
Yeah, we just need, with the change to the date on the, at the top.
yeah, and she signs it at the end, May 1, so.
Yeah, so,
we're gonna-
okay,
He said maybe we'll be correct.
okay, we'll fix that. So, does anybody want to make a motion with that change? To accept the consent agenda?
So,
Oh, Ashley will, motion to accept with the change to date to be first.
The other, alright, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Public comments? No? Written communications from the public? No. New business, photography and video policy action.
So I put these up on the intranet for staff comment, and nobody had it. I mean, there were a couple comments. The comments were all, this looks good from staff. At Samantha's correct suggestion, we ran through AI, elicited that this morning, and I just handed you what the results are for that. So for photography and video,
I just think it's funny, it's like, hey, these are issues, but these are not issues. Like, very clean overall, no significant grammatical errors. Like, that's positive feedback. Consistent use of DPL after introduction, professional clear language throughout. Like, there's no issue to that.
essentially. Yeah.
So good job. Internal consistency.
That was gonna sound weird. But what culture is immersed having a photo tape?
What's that?
It says in the considerations that it might benefit acknowledging cultural sensitivities around photography and recording. And
It could be like
I
native.
think some Native American
that
cultures.
was not gonna sound. I feel like it's definitely really, really old to be considering still. But yeah, I guess maybe that's what.
I don't know, I mean, yeah.
I feel like they'd be really offended if you came to a Native American Indian thing, like, hey, are you still afraid of photography?
I think any like current culture, none that I'm aware of. But,
Yeah.
uh,
Respecting patron privacy and dignity in photography.
the problem is, legally, I mean, there's just no protection there. You can have your picture taken in public.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're at a public place, institution, but right.
So there is no patient privacy. That's just, I mean, we're advised by our attorneys and have been for years that there simply is no expectation of privacy or in a public place.
I'm straightforward with mine. I'm good to go with myself as it stands currently.
Yeah.
As you said, the AI does not necessarily recommend change to the current moment.
And if you have any questions, I think Melissa has the AI
Yes,
up and she could feed a question into it, but
This one we use
Odd.
Claude. Yeah, I know that.
so.
Care what the fans Claude is.
So we looked at it, didn't find anything, AI didn't find anything, this one seems, and this one was crafted by our attorney some years ago, so.
Okay, well then I'm fine with,
So moved.
yeah, sorry, okay. policy switches between employees and staff. I think that is probably accurate.
Should we just go with employees throughout, or go with the staff social media policy? Always get confused on staff and, what is it, plural or singular? That's where I get confused, but. So staff is prohibited or staff are prohibited?
Well, that's what, I don't know. I mean, I could have on.
They both sound right.
Staff.
I would
Like,
say
I wouldn't-
on the rest of the sentence structure, would not.
Staff
Yeah.
is prohibited. Staff is prohibited,
It
sounds.
can be both.
Okay.
So should we just go with staff throughout?
I think, yeah,
Okay.
It's a collective noun singular when referring to the group as a whole unit. And plural when referring to individual member.
I'm clear.
yeah. So staff are prohibited from the public posting of information on DPL that is deceptive. So we're okay with the R versus is heading, sorry. City librarian should be consistent, appears correctly throughout.
So, again, not really an issue.
Yeah.
But the Gator Public Library spells out all the time, but in the other one, it's
It was
showing
like-
APL.
Yeah.
So that's not consistent internally.
Well, it's not consistent with the other policies, it's consistent with it itself, but
Right.
yeah, we can certainly shorten that to DPL. We can put a DPL behind the first introduction and change all the DPL. It's a small thing, but I'm happy to do that.
It said something about maybe changing this.
Oh, yeah, so in the second paragraph, it's just one sentence there, but do we need to list examples? So could we stop after the word communication?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those change so frequently.
I mean, we
Yeah,
don't,
it was the
Twitter.
same.
we don't use
Using Flickr.
Tumblr or Flickr anymore. I mean, I have Tumblr, but.
What is Flickr?
I know.
Tony still has his.
I don't know
He
what
does.
Flickr is.
That's so cute.
Flickr was just a place to put photos.
Photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that relieves like having to keep it updated.
Yeah.
There's something going on with this down here, like where it's like made into a second paragraph somehow.
Yeah, sometimes when going from, yeah, we can fix that.
Yeah.
We're going from a Word document to a PDF, or a PDF to another PDF,
No,
is
I
actually the worst.
I totally
But we'll get that fixed, and we'll put it in the correct fonts also.
The policy appropriately protects against harassment and discrimination. The language around negative remarks can be clarified to distinguish between constructive feedback and harassment.
I think that our attorney kind of wanted it pretty general.
Okay.
I mean, it's been a few years, but that's my recollection. We actually did talk about that.
Consider adding language about respectful discourse in the library's commitment to inclusive communication.
I'm not sure what that would look like exactly, but I'm sure Claude will give us ideas.
I feel like it's already in here. Like, or, I mean,
then they would
I'm
have.
working on finance, and I'll have that out tomorrow.
So yeah, then they would have the last one, we were able to have the fire.
Okay. Older old business, has Chris, no, not Chris anymore, who's the attorney, what's his name? Jordan. Has Jordan gotten back about any of the, because you said the other policies,
Well, I sent the
bylaws and the.
not the bylaws,
the-
the management personnel policy. And I told him that my goal was July, that we discussed in the July meeting, so I will need it by then. I don't have anything back yet.
Okay, well, I was just asking if he had even responded, and that was even possible to discuss it in July.
Well, I mean, it's something that, I think at some point we may have to talk about, because
Yes, we-
response times have been pretty slow.
Remind me, what questions do we have
We
for
just-
Jordan pertaining to the policy?
Yeah, so I mean, because this was for the management personnel policy, I just want to make sure we're compliant. I mean, there've been a lot of changes in employment law in the last couple of years, and I just want to make sure we're up to date.
That was just a question.
Nothing specific, I just wanted to review for legal compliance.
So, yeah, that's good. Did you have something else? On Monday, I went and read my love letter to the library, which I can, to the council. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell anybody. I told him.
I went.
He did, he supported me, and then we walked out, like, right as they were, saying, does anybody have any comments on the
Usually,
comments?
no.
I mean,
That's something new, not to me.
okay, well, that makes me feel better, because we're like walking out as Julie goes, she goes, does anybody have any comments about the comments? And I was like, oh,
They're totally fine with people leaving, they really are.
okay, then that's good.
I would say, yeah, usually they get the same rules, like we do, and there's not going to be.
Right.
Well, they read there's no immediate response by, but I've seen them give immediate
Yeah,
responses.
they can,
Yes.
it's not a matter of being required.
Yeah.
It's also when it's only required to say,
Yeah, don't expect
Yeah.
response,
Right,
but you
exactly,
might
but they
get it.
can, yeah. So I think that's fairly new, where she actually said, does anybody want to respond
Yeah.
after both public comments were done?
Yeah,
Uh,
both of them were positive, like the other woman who I
And Owens.
and Owens, I have a story for you. But yeah, it was, I mean, I sent it to Kim,
They give us a,
no. They were stone-faced.
the library did send questions or whatever.
Yeah, thank you. So then I sent it to Kim so that she could give it to them if they wanted. And that is my public relations duty for the month. Oh, and I went to, I'll say this in the big board meeting too, but I went to the IHLS opening, or grand reopening, no, it's not reopening. Unveiling of their AMHS, like their automated material handler machine. It's super cool. They had, because they have, it's very long, it's like longer than this table, and they have different configurations. So like the way they have to do it is they have to like send it through, and then like if it doesn't, it'll have an exception box if it's not those libraries in that section. So I thought that was fascinating, because we just have it by shell area,
We have
area.
an exception box.
Yeah, right, so then they run them back through, like they switch configuration to a different set of libraries. So there's 3 configurations, so then they run it back through. I just found that fascinating.
Yeah, I was wondering how they were going to use it, to be honest with you, but I trusted that they're good at logistics, so.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job, and it was a really cool, like, spot, and like learning more about IHLS.
Springfield, right?
Yeah, it was at Edwardsville.
Oh.
Yeah, I drove down to Edwardsville a couple weeks ago. So, that's it, that's my other business.
I have some was actually one of them new business I should have. But last week I attended the dedication of the Jim Edgar Reading Room at the State Library. It was 85% politicians and maybe 90, 10 or 15% librarians. But it was a crowd. What's that?
It's a fun crowd.
It was a fun crowd, it was an event definitely worth going to. Governor Pritzker was there, and Secretary Jim Lewis, and Congresswoman Luzinski. So it was, and of course, former Governor Edgar. So it was definitely worth doing. And for old business, this stuff is not really specific to this committee, but y'all are trustees, so keeping you in the loop is important. We have a installation date of the new reference desk of the 17th of this month.
What?
Yeah, so,
I thought it was 90 days.
yeah, which makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know, that they were able to do it in just a month or so.
Did you guys threaten, like, you know what, we're not paying, come and take all
We're
that
not
stuff
paying
away?
Well,
And
you
see
know,
if that was
in
gonna
that,
speed up the.
Tiffany, our main contractor keeps trying to get us to pay this last $30,000, and our architect, Tiffany, contacted them yesterday and said they're not paying another dime until you get everything right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So,
we,
Uh,
maybe schedule.
And they're okay, because I just got to get to the point where it's hard to keep track of everything. I just sent it to her, and she handles it. The other thing I wanted to make you guys aware of is that we had a good, we talked about in more detail this week, but we will be, I think at our next payroll, we will be underwater financially this month. But the city is covering it until such time as we get our taxes, and it looks like the personal property replacement tax for the next budget year, which starts July 1 with the state, there's going to be more cuts. So that's not going to save us. Ashley and Carl and I met with Councilman Horn a couple weeks ago. I thought it was a very productive and very good meeting. He had some ideas beyond raising taxes that might be helpful. Requested a meeting today with. Yeah, he wasn't. Correct, he wasn't. He just had some other suggestions in addition to. Met with I requested a meeting with Councilman McDaniel today. He's recovering from surgery and won't be available for a few weeks. So we'll reach out to another council member. I also, as an administrator, I reached out to administrators over there for the same discussion about our long-term financial needs, and to Mr. Gleason and Ms. James. And Mr. Gleason's response was, "You must have been reading my mind. I think it's a good conversation for us to have." And he said he wanted to get the deputy city manager involved too. So, and I totally get it. We've become over-dependent on unpredictable state funds. So we haven't gotten a date set up on that yet, but I'll let you guys know. So that's where we are on that. I think, and Pat also said in his response that he totally gets what we're talking about. Because I just kind of said, we're really getting killed on PPRT. We're a lot more dependent on it than the city is. And he also said he understood that. We'll talk as soon as he's ready as soon as it's ambulatory.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, if there's no other business, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Kayla seconds.
What's that?
Kayla seconds, sorry.
Did you make a motion? No.
I
You
didn't
can
make
make
it.
a motion.
Oh,
Said
Kayla
second.
motions for this to conclude.
All right.
Ashley will second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Set record for this.